in. Yes, I do think the Baltimore Ravens are in a big mess. Because looking at the quarterback, they actually have a competition going on between Joe Flacco, the guy who's somehow declined from being a step above mediocre to now becoming a step below mediocre, and now first round pick Lamar Jackson, who they took in the 32nd pick. This is going to be interesting. I think this could probably go the way of Deshaun Watson in terms of getting Lamar Jackson into the starting role. Because looking at the rest of the roster, it's kind of a mess. There's not a lot of talent, especially weapons, to deal with for either quarterback to do. This was a constant problem for Baltimore for quite a while. It's that they don't have a lot of tools for a good quarterback to work with. And with Jackson, I mean, he has his mobility. He'll probably make a lot of plays with his legs, similar to how Kaepernick did it in San Francisco. But I think the way the rest of the offense ends, but you know what? Let's continue breaking it down. Looking at running backs, I think they finally have their running back in Alex Collins. It's probably going to be him being the starting role. They're hoping that Kenneth Dixon does not get injured and stays on the field and becomes really the third down back. They want to try and use Dixon and Collins to be the 1-2 punch. Javorius Allen is probably on the brink of release. They got a couple other backs, but it seems to be mostly Alex Collins being the main back with probably a third down back shoved somewhere in between. And looking at the wide receivers, it's clear Baltimore Ravens are just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Seeing how they signed 3 wide receivers in free agency. They signed Michael Crabtree, John Brown, and Willie Snead. All 3 of those wide receivers have had one of the worst that they've had so far in his career in 2017, and they're all kind of hoping that they're having a rebound season. Crabtree didn't have one of his better years. I think he was top 5 in drops in 2017. Willie Snead had a really bad season. Really struggled to catch up with the offense. Was kind of played out as the season went along. And John Brown has been dealing with his sickle cell trait and has missed a lot of games. Really hasn't gone back to his 2015 form. So they're kind of hoping that a lot of players on this team, just explodes. Like Brashad Perriman, who they drafted in the first round in 2016, he has yet to really show what he's really capable of. He's been dealing with injuries, has had a slow start, and they're hoping that he finally develops. He's right now probably going to be the 4th wide receiver, which is really going to spell doom and gloom for this guy. They drafted a few other receivers, but again, they're just hoping that someone steps up and becomes the real true number 1. They're hoping that this wide receiving core can just explode and have a real star. And I don't know if they'll actually get one. They're just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Even the tight ends, they drafted 2 tight ends after just having year upon year of bad tight ends. They drafted Hurst in the first round and drafted Mark Andrews in the 3rd round. They still have Nick Boyle, Max Williams. They have a couple other players, but again, they want someone to step up. They need someone to really take command and be a big service, a big help. But as long as the struggles increase and they struggle to really find a real good talent, then their offense is not going to do much, and it would have to be pushed, and it would push Lamar Jackson more to the starting role because Flacco is a more traditional passer. He's not particularly mobile, especially this stage of his career, and Jackson, like I said, at least with his mobility, he can run, extend plays, even make plays with his legs, and then and with just a really questionable selection of weapons, you really don't have the type of team that they want to really succeed in the NFL. They don't have the type of offense that they want. And the offensive line, I think it's going to get a little better, just a little. They have Ronnie Stanley is going to be the left tackle. They're going to have a little open competition for right tackle, might be between the third round pick Orlando Brown. They might also have Alex Lewis, maybe James Hurst also be thrown in that position. Guard, it's probably going to be Marshall Yano. They'll probably throw another person in there. Again, probably be another little open competition. And, of course, center, it's probably going to be Matt Circa, if I got it right. And the offensive line is fine. I think it might improve just slightly, but not by much. But who knows? The offense is just a mess. They want this offense to finally improve. I think Harbaugh is going to be pushed into the hot seat. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season he and whoever the new general manager is going to be, because I think Ozzie Newsome's retiring. And it's just going to be, we're just going to have a separate part of ways. You've been a great help for us in 10 years, blah, 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 but we want to go in a different direction, yada, 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 etc., etc. And the offense, like I said, it's a mess. And they're hoping that certain players step up and perform well. And who knows if that could actually happen. I'm looking at the defense. It's trying to get back to that old ways that they have been, the dominant defense of Baltimore, but I don't know. It's going to be pretty tricky. I don't know. It's going to be really tricky. All right, defensive line. I'm trying to remember who their starters were. Excuse me for the lack of memory I have. They have Carl Davis, and I think that's the only starter I remember, Carl Davis. They got a couple others. Now they want to try, Brandon Williams, or nose tackle. Yeah, sorry, I'm just came back from doing something else. They got Judon being one of their edge rushers. They got a few other players. They want to try a lot of young players. The more I'm looking at it, just players they want to hopefully step up and perform well and get back to what they did best. And of course, the linebackers, you got the ever impressive C.J. Mosley. They drafted Tim Williams last year. They still have Terrell Suggs, who I think at this point is trying to beat James Harrison for how long someone can stay in the NFL being a pass rusher. Contributing one. And I think it's decent. It's decent, especially with C.J. Mosley being your middle linebacker. It's a good squad. It's a good squad. And then looking at the secondary, they got something in Marlon Humphrey. Jimmy Smith, as long as he can stay healthy, will always be a big help. Tavon Young is probably going to be their slot corner. And of course their safeties with Tony Jefferson and Eric Weddle. They got a few guys they do want to try, but it's a good squad overall. Defensively, it's not bad. It's pretty good. I don't know how well it's gonna do. If the offense, doesn't perform well, they could be back on the field and just stink. But it's a decent squad. I think it's going to improve a little bit. I think with maybe a quarterback change, putting in Lamar Jackson at starter with perhaps Flacco maybe getting pushed to sidelines, or hell, even getting released. I'd be very shocked if they actually pulled that off. This is an okay squad. Okay squad to deal with. They got some players they want to try out. Some players that they are praying will play well, and I do want to see how far they can go and how well they can actually play. But looking at the schedule, of course, they have to play AFC North, etc., etc., and of course playing the NFC South and the AFC West. They got a lot of toss-ups, and I can probably see this team going 8-8, maybe, but it all depends on their offense and going on a matchup basis. I mean, right now they start off with the Bills at home, and in their first 6 games, 4 of them are on the road. 4 of them are unfortunately on the road. That's not something that they want to have. Looking at it again, but then after the bye week, which is week 10, they got 4 games at home of that last 7. This could be a team that might make a playoff push. I think there's just enough talent to really push it, to really get a late playoff push. Question is, can they hold off a team like the Chargers, for example? The Chargers would definitely be a team that's going to probably make a late playoff push. If they can hold them off, there's a solid chance of them making the playoffs. And of course, playing against the Titans. And yeah, I'm going to just throw that in there, the Bills. And I'm just looking at the non-division teams that could threaten their potential playoff status. The first game, of course, with the Bills, who were very well coached in 2017. That can be an interesting matchup. A very good toss-up game against the Titans, who made the playoffs last year. Another good toss-up, and even against the Chargers, a team I have perhaps going to the playoffs in 2018. It's really going to be interesting to see this team unfold, and I think it's probably going to be like an 8-8 or a 9-7 team. It has enough talent to really. It has enough talent to not be a 7-9 or worse team, but I don't trust the offense enough to really stand out and go, wow, this is something I've never seen from the Baltimore team, a good offense. I think it'll function well, but this is not the team I expect to really make the playoffs, especially when it goes down to the line after the bye and having to play against, the Raiders, the Falcons, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. Those kind of teams are going to give them way more trouble than they would like, and it could be disastrous for them.